Hello. Who is Jesus Christ and is he God? I want to look at the first part of that question first of all. You know, in his biographies, the Gospels, the four Gospels that you find in the New Testament, the most common question that is asked about Jesus Christ by people that he came in contact with is, who is this guy? Who is this man? So it's a really important question. Who is Jesus Christ? They asked it back then, like 2,000 years ago, and millions of people still ask the question today. Who is Jesus? Let's start by looking at what he said about himself, at the claims that he made about himself. He said, I am the truth, the way, and the life. He put himself on an equal footing with God. In fact, he claimed to be the Lord God Jehovah himself. In John chapter 8, he gave himself the name I Am, which is the sacred name of Jehovah God, by which he had revealed himself to Moses, and he had said, by this name I will be known by my people through all generations. I am. And the Jews recognized what he had said and tried to stone him for blasphemy. He promised that he would come again in the clouds of glory and that he would judge the earth. He promised to be the source of all life. I am the resurrection and the life, he said. And he said that whoever believes in him will never die. He claimed to have the power to forgive sin, all sin. Who could make these claims? Well, they could be made by a lunatic, of course, but none of his contemporaries thought that Jesus was a lunatic. They could be made by a liar, by a con man and a hoaxer, but his contemporaries never found any fault with him in terms of his honesty and his integrity. No one ever accused him of those things. And there is another alternative, and that is that the claims that he made were true. In fact, for any rational person looking at this, that's the only rational alternative that you have. You can't say that Jesus was just a good man or a wise teacher, because if that's the case, then he was the greatest liar who ever lived, and certainly not a good man. And how could a good man utter such complete lies and mistruths? The only real option to us is to conclude that Jesus Christ is who he claimed he was, God come to earth. He said, I and my Father are one, and that the powers that he said he had, he really did have. In fact, the Bible tells us, and Jesus tells us explicitly himself, that Jesus came to show us what God is like. Not some God who is far away in another part of the universe or up, distant in heaven, but God himself with us. And that's the genius, the absolute good news of Christianity, that we have a God who loves us so much that he came down to save us. The penalty for our sin is paid. All evil, all sin is overcome, and all we need to do is to trust and believe in him and be his friend, and he will never let you go.